All right, let's jump right in. This is Climate Rescue Capitalism, using product profits to fight climate change. I'm presenting an idea for a full-length feature film documentary or a 5 to 10 minute video clip. The idea that I'll be presenting is published in a book called Climate Rescue Capitalism that you can get on Amazon, or you can go to the website climaterescuecapitalismblog.wordpress.com. You can read the book online there, or you can buy an Amazon Kindle version for less than $1. And there's also an audible audiobook version for, I don't know, about $6 or so. So again, like this, what I'm going to be presenting is like how a documentary filmmaker could really change the world, just like get us finally to do what we need to do on climate change. But again, this idea could be presented in a 5 to 10 minute short video that, if it goes viral, that might be all that's necessary to launch this, this project, this idea. Okay, so it's very important for you to know that I'm not selling you this, I'm giving you this. If you're a documentary filmmaker, if you know a documentary filmmaker, this is an idea that I think you'll really appreciate. If you care about the climate, if you care about, the future. All right, if you do this right, and like, as you'll see before I end this, it's a no-brainer. I mean, the idea is very simple. If you do this right, you're going to make a lot of money, and you'll very, very probably win both an Oscar and a Nobel Peace Prize. That's how important and influential your film would be. All right, again, producing this film is not going to be difficult because the idea is so commonsensical. There's nothing complicated about it. It's both easy to understand and explain. And because of that, you should be able to complete this film in under 6 months. You don't really have to travel the world, to get people to talk about this. Probably in New York City, any major city, you can get enough people to film to help you present the idea. So really, you could be like from beginning to post-production and premiere in 6 months. All right, it's important to understand this film is not just about getting our world to finally act on climate change. It is also about helping young entrepreneurs earn 6- and 7-figure incomes. And we're going to get to that later, but it's very important because this isn't just, basically we will be rewarding the people who create these companies that I'll be describing, and they can make a lot of money in the process. All right. So if so many of us want to fight climate change, why isn't nearly enough being done? That's the big question. And the big answer, the one answer, is that rich people bribe our politicians to do as little as they can about climate change because they don't want to pay for it. They don't really care about the future, about even their own kids. They somehow think that their kids and grandkids would escape the ravages of climate change and the geopolitical transitions that it will create. No, but essentially, again, that's why we're not doing what we need to do about climate change. So now, how do these rich people get this money to bribe our politicians to stop them from fighting climate change, from enacting legislation? They sell us products. Think about it, products or services, right? So that's how they get their income. So here's here's the challenge we faced. The money that buys our politicians is made by selling products. Okay, the money that fights climate change comes from donations. So is it any wonder that we haven't been able to compete yet? All right, I want you to take a minute to read this question. All right, it's an important question. Let me read it out loud. Go through it again. If your supermarket offered new food products that were equal in price and quality to the products that you now buy, and you knew that 100% of the profit from these new products would be donated to the cause of fighting climate change, would you buy these new products? Okay, that's the question. All right, so I stood outside of a supermarket here in White Plains and I asked 50 people to read that question. I didn't want to like recite it to them because I didn't want to influence their answer with my tone of voice or whatever. So, all right, so I asked 50 people. How many of them do you think said yes? "44 out of 50. Now, 44 out of 50 people saying yes translates to an 88% market share if they were to buy these products. Now, have you any idea of how dominating an 88% market share would be with thousands of products? All right, I mean, that's what this, the survey suggests, but, let's say only half of them or 1/4 of them or 10% of those people who said yes actually end up buying these products, these new products in supermarkets. All right, well, anybody who knows product marketing, especially supermarkets, a 5% market share equals huge success for virtually any supermarket product. That's what climate rescue capitalism is about. It's about empowering us as consumers, as shoppers, to fight climate change at no personal cost. That's the second very important point. At no personal cost through our shopping. We wouldn't be spending any more money than we do now. We'd be buying products of equal quality, equal price. All right. You may be asking yourself now, how can a business that gives its profit away stay in business? Right? All right, well, I'm not going to present to you any theory. We don't have to rely on some theory that may look good on paper but hasn't been tested in the world. This isn't like, well, let's try this and see if it works. All right, so introducing Newman's Own. The late actor Paul Newman and his friend Alex Hotchner, who's an author, in 1982 started the company called Newman's Own. That has been, since that year, donating 100% of its profit to thousands of charities, to thousands of worthy causes. All right, let's find out a bit about who Paul and Alex were, because it's encouraging. They actually had no food product or marketing experience when they started their company. They had intended to spend $40,000 to market their first product. They only ended up spending $20,000. In today's dollars, that translates to $50,000. Okay, they began with only 4 employees. It was Paul, Alex, a part-time bookkeeper, and a part-time secretary. They had no overhead because all the manufacturing and distribution were outsourced. And they conducted in-house taste testing. They also didn't advertise. They held 2 media events, one in a bar on the Upper East Side in Manhattan, the other in a supermarket in Connecticut. That's how they launched their products. All right, and let's look at their products. They've got 116 of them today: cookies, dressing, mints, olive oil, pizza, salsa, sauce, snacks. You notice a lot of them are organic. So again, spices, 116 products that they now sell. By selling us products since '82, this one company has been able to raise and donate over $550 million, again, to thousands of very good causes. children's camps, medical research, everything. All right, now, imagine a future where hundreds of new companies like Newman's Own are selling us thousands, tens of thousands of new products to raise money to fight climate change. That is the goal. That's what you want this film to do. So imagine the billions of dollars that these companies would earn to fight climate change every year. And really billions. It could probably be tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions. All right, so let's go back to the politics. So you've got the people who don't want us to do anything about climate change, the rich. They give their political candidates $10 million for their campaign. We give our candidates $30 million. Our candidates win, and that is when our world, our planet, begins to start taking serious action on climate change. Ask yourself, how else can we overcome the money that is stopping us from getting serious about fighting climate change? What alternative do we have? To my mind, there's only one that comes to mind. If we were, and I think it's something we need to do with or without climate rescue capitalism, if we get the money out of politics, if we don't allow rich people to bribe our politicians, make it illegal for them to do that, then yes, that's another avenue, powerful avenue for finally fighting climate change. But the idea is that it's not an either or, they're not mutually exclusive. We can get money out of politics and basically launch this new retooling of capitalism that is designed not to make rich people richer, but to fight climate change, to help us all. All right, so let's get back to the businesses. We talked about, people running these companies, starting them, and then earning 6 or 7 figure salaries. How does that work? All right, now fast forward to after your film premieres. It's watched by millions in theaters and venues like Netflix. Everybody is talking. So what happens next? What happens next is that people begin to create these companies. Companies that are telling shoppers, you buy our product, you're getting the same quality for the same price as the products you're buying now, but with each purchase, you would be helping us fight climate change. Right, so let's look at an example. You've got 2 partners. They launch a climate rescue business that they call Climate Saver, and they start selling products. Now, Climate Saver raises $1 million for the fight against climate change during their first year. Okay, you need to understand that we're upholding a standard here. In the not-for-profit industry, the standard for expenditures is a 80-20 ratio. Expenditures, meaning revenue. Basically, the not-for-profit industry seeks donations, and then 80% of those donations go to services, while 20% go to operating expenses, like rent, supplies, and salaries. This is the model, for the ratio that climate rescue capitalism would abide by. All right, so under this model, during their first year, the 2 owners of this new company earn $100,000 each in salary. But they're really smart. They bring in 2 digital marketing mavens, and in their second year, they raise $5 million to fight climate change. So all of a sudden, the 80-20 donation to operating expense ratio now allocates $1 million for their 4 salaries, so they're each making $250,000 a year as a salary. let's compare that to how Newman's Own is doing today. They're bringing in an annual revenue of $11 million. So if a climate rescue corporation business is doing as well, then 20% of those $11 million would equal $2.2 million. So you split that 4 ways, and suddenly each person at Climate Saver is earning $550,000 a year as a salary. So how about, it's reasonable to expect that that could be doubled, because like Newman Own doesn't really, advertise the way this climate rescue capitalism can. So if they're raising $22 million a year to donate to the fight against climate change, Climate Saver for the 4 employees would each be earning $1.1 million in salary. That's how we get to the 7-figure salaries. And that is how we make people, young entrepreneurs, make a lot of money doing a lot of good. All right, there's another way this can happen faster. Prospective owners of these climate rescue corporations can meet with existing companies and transition them to the profit donating model. The way this would work is like, they would meet with them and say, listen, we want to launch a product. We will either launch a product that will compete with your product and probably greatly reduce your revenue because so many people will be buying our product, or a better idea may be that if your company switches to this profit donating model, this climate rescue capitalism model, then your revenues will probably quadruple, quintuple. They will soar, meaning that you could probably be earning more as a salary under that model. And naturally, we as your partners would be part of that, that income, that salary structure. So again, we can either create new companies, or we can work with existing companies for their benefit, for our benefit, and for the world's benefit as they begin to offer these products. Now, a lot of people are going to be creating climate rescue businesses just to do a lot of good. Not-for-profit organizations would be perfect owners of these companies, especially climate change organizations. And then the other group of people who would be excellent for starting these companies would be celebrities. There's UNICEF is a not-for-profit organization. This has a history. It has generated over $1 billion just selling greeting cards. So it's not like this isn't already being done. They basically donate their money to educate children and to provide healthcare for children. All right, and celebrities, I think, would be the ideal climate rescue business owners for several important reasons. First, they can easily afford the $50,000 in startup costs. A woman like Oprah, she could probably start 100 of these businesses, and it would be like, $10 for the rest of us, So these celebrities, many of them can just like do this, and it doesn't cost them really anything. All right, celebrities would also be perfect spokespeople for their climate rescue companies and for the concept of climate rescue capitalism. The celebrities have a charisma. They know how to talk to their audience. They know how to talk to the public, and they have, generally wide followings. So imagine 20 to 30 celebrities stage a worldwide media event to introduce their first product and launch this new industry. So they get together, they each select a product. They're not going to compete against each other. One person may market salad dressing, another person may market pizza, another person may market, soup, they're not competing against each other, but they're each offering a product, launching a product, and they create this, probably a music concert that's streamed throughout the entire world. So it's watched by perhaps millions, if not tens or hundreds of millions of people. And they do this as amazing publicity to launch not just this new industry, but their particular products. These celebrities would be very eager to market climate rescue products because of the positive publicity they'd receive. Their followers would love the fact that they've created a company that donates all of its profits, to fighting climate change. And these celebrities are so rich, yeah, sure, the climate rescue model allows for them to take 20% of revenue for a salary. I'm guessing most, if not all of them, would forego that. So you have 100% of the profits going to the fight against climate change. These celebrities would probably be very glad to be featured in your film to help you present the idea. So, I mean, if you want to kind of like meet these celebrities, have a reason to meet with them, get them into the film, I'm sure they would be very, very glad to do that, not just to help the world, but also to advance their careers. They would help explain this concept to the world. All right, well, that's how climate rescue capitalism works. That is how we retool capitalism to fight climate change. We retool it from an economic system that here in the United States and throughout most of the world, is primarily the way it works, designed to make rich people richer, or that's, what it tends to do perhaps too much of. And we retool it into an engine of creating, of raising the finances, the funds, to finally get serious about fighting climate change. That is the idea your film introduces to the world in order to inspire these celebrities and these not-for-profit organizations to begin to launch these new businesses. All right, a few other very important points, actually. Okay, I've described this climate rescue capitalism model working for supermarket products. Now, imagine broadly extending the idea to online sales. So it's like food, it's whatever. And basically, yeah, it'd be like, no, so imagine like if you shop on Amazon, they have this button for Prime. You click a button and Amazon will just show you Prime products. If you're a Prime member, it's free shipping, 2-3 day delivery, it's a great deal. But imagine another button that says, show me climate rescue products. So you basically see who is offering online products that allow you to contribute to fighting climate change each time you buy them. And, again, I'm not so familiar with digital marketing, but there are a lot of people out there who know it, who can make this work hugely. All right, another very important part of this is we need to protect the integrity of the climate rescue capitalism industry and inspire consumer confidence. So the first thing, we have a seal of approval that shoppers can be confident that 100% of the profits are used to fight climate change. So what happens is we create a watchdog organization, or we get our government to do this, either way would be fine. And then so like, shoppers can know, yes, this is a legitimate business. As a matter of fact, shoppers can go to the official website of this new industry and verify that the products they're buying are really donating 100% of their profit to fighting climate change. So, they can, the finances have to be completely transparent, but, that is one way to ensure consumer confidence. All right, now this is perhaps even more important. Climate rescue, companies are selling products. After that, the same selling point can be donating all profits to fund medical research, poverty reduction, education, and so many other causes. So imagine, like, when people catch on, hey, they're selling products to finance the fight against climate change. let's launch products to finance more research, on healthcare, to provide more funds for education, to eliminate poverty, not just reduce it. So this is like climate rescue capitalism would be the beginning of a new across the board retooling of capitalism. So it's no longer predominantly making rich people richer, and it's what it is predominantly doing is attending to the needs of all of us, including those in the future, our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. All right, so what your film would have introduced is a sustainable capitalism that works for everyone. Now, again, remember, the rich are preventing us from doing what we need to do to safeguard the future. This changes that. This competes with them and basically wins over them. And that is the idea. So if you know a documentary film producer, send them the link to this. I'll have it on YouTube. If you are a documentary film producer, this is your opportunity of lifetime. Again, whether you create a 5 to 10 minute film or a full-length feature film documentary, you are going to make a lot of money, win an Oscar and a Nobel Prize. Because again, that's how important and influential your film would be. You're introducing to the world a way for us to finally get serious about fighting climate change. All right, so again, if you want to mull over these details and more so, I go into the promotion, the marketing, all the details in the book, Climate Rescue Capitalism. Again, you can download actually a free PDF. You don't even have to buy it from the Climate Rescue Capitalism blog website. All right, so that's the idea. Again, if you're a documentary filmmaker, this is the idea you've been waiting for. If you know a documentary filmmaker, you would be giving them, her or him, an amazing gift with this idea, because you would be allowing them to make a lot of money, become very successful at doing something, by doing something very, very wonderful for the world, for the future. All right, that's all we have time for today. I will be back in future episodes. Thanks for watching.